Look at yourself again. Look at yourself anew. See, you're not a black man falling, you are a black man rising, by James H. Chapman. Black man rising. Rising to meet the challenges of this ever-changing world. Rising to the fullness of who I am, black man rising. Above the accepted, above the expected, above the average. Rising like a phoenix from the ashes. Rising like the sun over a desert horizon. Rising like Jesus from the tomb. Rising like bright tomorrows out of dark yesterdays. Rising like the blues out of a wounded spirit. Rising, I am the black man rising. Above the rim, rising to the top, I am rising. No one can stop me. I am truly rising to the fullness of who I am. Black man rising. I won't look back. Standing on my feet, climbing high mountains. I am larger than life as I rise. I am getting stronger every day. I am getting wiser every day. I am my own man, unstoppable. My own man, invincible. I am not one in a million. I am one of millions, many millions strong. I am the mailman, volunteering. I am the preacher, called. I am the cop that cares. I am the preacher, present. I am the recovering addict. I am the addict, recovered. I am the teacher, still teaching. I am the black man. I am the black man. I am the black man. Yo soy el moreno. I am the real, unadulterated, decompressed, revived, renewed, African-born and bred, BLACK man.
My name is Che Anderson, and I am the Deputy Cultural Development Officer for the City of Worcester. I am one of the directors of the Powwow Mural Festival and a co-founder of Food and Convo, and I create value where there isn't any inherently, trying to amplify people who look like me in spaces where you don't see many people who look like me.
I love the idea of being a connector. One of my favorite words is the word griot, and the idea of telling stories and being a storyteller and passing them down orally so that you don't lose what you had and what you knew.
Graffiti, and then the argument of graffiti versus street art, and the whole what happens to all of the things that are, in my opinion, part of hip-hop culture.
When things are punk, when things are graffiti, right, people are drawn to them. It has a certain allure. But for it to then become mainstream, you have to wash it, right? You have to clean it up. You have to, it's like gentrifying culture in a weird way. And so graffiti has to become street art or murals or public art to now be okay, right? If I told people we were gonna do a graffiti project around the city, heads would roll. What do you mean? But for me, graffiti, mural, street art, it's all semantics. Pronounced Worcester. Or like Worcester, I guess if you're from here. Worcester. Perfect.
So tell me how a Manhattan representative came to be like literally an ambassador for Worcester Pride.
I've been here almost 10 years. It's my second home. It's amazing to be part of the Worcester community.
Worcester's also becoming a cultural hub of New England. Like, Powwow comes here. Powwow goes nowhere. Like, Powwow is like an experience that was in Hawaii. And now you have, beyond Powwow, you have murals all over the city. How did this position you're in and this arts movement that is in Worcester come to be?
You know, when I got hired by the interim city manager, he hired me and said, we'll figure out what you do. It started with special events and me revamping the special events process with some amazing staff and figuring out how do we make it a one-stop shop for people who want to put on cultural events or festivals. And that just naturally grew to trying to put together a big festival and partnering with Powwow for that festival. And the city going, this should be your full-time job. We're gonna have you do public art, special events, and other opportunities. I think Worcester's always been a cultural hub and a space for creatives.
And so we knew that the mural that went here had to be something that was not only uplifting and empowering for women, but that represented, the abolishment and eradication of racism. And Sydney brought that with this strong image of a Black woman.
As a Black man, what does it mean for you to bring a Black woman in and then commission a piece as of a Black woman And that was in 2018, and now we're in 2020, and you know, no one is being held responsible for the murder of Breonna Taylor, and there's a long list of Black women just being erased in various ways and brutalized in various ways. So, you know, with art, it changes, meanings change over time. So if you stand here today and look at it, like, what does it mean for you?
It's a reminder that we have to find more opportunities to protect Black women. We have to take every chance we have to protect and amplify Black women, to be presenting space in spaces where you normally don't see Black and brown women. Quite often, and too often, we let one person be the model minority and we go, oh, we got one. That's not the point. It's not about having one. It should be the norm to see Black women engage in these projects and many others like it. So,
thinking about growing up in New York, it is the birthplace of hip hop. So I feel like when you grow up there, you inherently know the 4 elements of hip hop. You know b-boying, you know graffiti, you know DJing, you know MCing. Street artists, graffiti artists used to be criminalized and demonized, and that type of art used to be vilified. And now, like, every condo and loft that pops up wants a mural project, and big corporations want a mural project, and cities are doing mural projects. But you also make sure that you go into neighborhoods that tourists will never see, and in schools, you know, where Black and brown kids are every day. Can you talk about why that type of very intentional placement is so important when we're talking about representation?
Art is powerful. Like, I genuinely believe that. That's why I love to see it in areas that some people would say like aren't necessarily places you should go at night, because it's for that community.
when we first started doing mural projects in Worcester, I really wanted to do a public housing area. One, because I thought that people here deserve to get, art experiences and engagement. I think quite often in these areas, people focus on sports, and that's great. I played sports, but there's so many creatives, and at least I thought there could be a ton of creatives, and then I got here and there were so many creatives. Like, some of the best young artists in this city live in this area.
So I love to put things in places where the community can take ownership of it, right? You're painting in a neighborhood that is 90%, Latin. That mural should have some like Latin undertone. If you're painting near a place where there might be a lot of single mothers, like, well, how do you, elevate those single mothers to look at that piece and go, okay, that's for me, that's about me. But it allows for a person to feel seen. And, in the midst of the pandemic and in the midst of what's happening in general around this modern civil rights era, people need to be seen and heard in a different way. And so it resonates with me.
When you see a piece like this and you see brown and black women, especially for me, because I grew up going to get my hair done and sitting in the dry, getting a doobie wrap, you have your hoop earrings on with your wrap, and you just like, it's a look, it's a vibe. And these are all like cultural signifiers and celebrations, really. And I think people sometimes dismiss, especially when a city gets behind art, and people are so quick to call something the ghetto, but every major brand steals from the ghetto. Mm-hmm. So it's like, when you think about it that way, the ghetto is beautiful.
And public art is that. It's an opportunity to showcase reality, to have a conversation with people and for people who don't have a voice, but it's not to make people comfortable necessarily.
To see her this way is just, I don't know. It's like the Beyonce Good Morning gif, with her rollers. Right. That's one of my favorite ones to send, because it's like the reminder that actually she's just like us.
Yeah, they crush it. They do. De lo mío. Family.
You love art and you love Worcester, and you also are deeply dedicated to local building. Just like with the arts, you work with everybody, but there is a special passion you have for businesses owned by people of color and Black people. So can you talk a little bit about why that's so important for you?
Food is the universal language. People often say it's music, and it is, but food is the thing that will get people around a table that normally would not sit together, to have conversation, to break bread.
It's all part of the resistance. It's part of the beautiful resistance.
And I'm so glad we were able to have this conversation.
Me too.
So thank you for holding space with me and resisting.
Thank you for allowing not only me the platform and the space, but thank you for allowing it for Worcester. I think that it's really important that people get a feel for just the amazing things that happen here. And I'm just really proud to be a cog in the wheel to make some good things happen.
The way this is the beginning of our relationship, Worcester. Like,
You know it.
I'll be back.
Next time on A Beautiful Resistance.
In my work as a Black journalist, but also when I see what you've done all summer long, to have photographers on the ground capturing those pictures, they look different.